Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nisa, and please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, ring the bell. Everything I've linked to will be linked to down below in the description, and let's get right into the video. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a multicolored ombre set. I'm going to be using gel paints and gel polish to do a ombre with, and then I'm going to be going ahead and doing a nude ombre with acrylic. So right now all I'm doing is removing the shine from the natural nail using a 180 grit sanding band. Then I'm going to go ahead and apply her tips, and they are going to be 876 nail tips. So these are the 876 coffin tips, and of course I am not going to be keeping them this long, but I like the shape that they are because even when you cut them down, they still stay very narrow. So, and they're the only tips I have up here that are narrow like this. So yes, you could say it's a waste of a tip, but it is okay. I'm using KDS glue to glue them on, and that is a little flower holder that's holding the glue up, and my glues have been lasting so much longer because they have not dried shut. Like, it's fantastic. So I really do recommend a little glue holder. You can use the penny method, but for some reason it would not stick to the penny every time I would do it. And yes, y'all, she was loving these nail tips even though she couldn't keep them very long, and her nails have just been soaked off, so that's why they kind of look like this. And then she went ahead and put oil on her nails knowing she wasn't supposed to. So yes, I had to wipe her nails down with acetone a couple more times, but now I'm going in and clipping them, and I'm going to be using a magnet, and I went ahead and filed the little part of the tip cutter that has that little bump in it. I filed it and I glued the magnet to it with the KDS glue, and then now I just stick the magnets to it, so it already has one on there, so it's just easier that the magnet doesn't move around anymore. Now I'm going in and blending in the tip just a little bit. You really want to go in and blend it more than this. I don't know why I really wasn't, but I remember why, because I forgot that I need to file the tips first and then go ahead and blend. So I was like, what am I doing? But I went ahead and just did it anyways, and I'm going to actually blend it in just a second from now. But yes, so that's all I was doing. And you can remove the shine from the tip while you're here because we are adding gel polish, and it reduces the chances for the gel polish to just go ahead and peel. So I really do recommend filing the tip, but I do add base coat, so it kind of doesn't peel anyways once we kind of put it underneath all these layers. Ahead and made sure the shape was nice and square. Now I'm going in and removing the shine from the natural nail just one more time, just one pass, not really digging in, just gently going over it. And here's where I really do blend in the tip. Like I said, you can follow through this time because it just makes sure your gel polish will be adhered to. After I went ahead and dusted everything off, now I'm going in with some acetone because, like I said, she went in and put oil on her hands, which, as you know, when you soak nails off, that leaves the perfect dry dehydrated base for your nails because the skin is already dried out, the nails are dried out. It's just like perfect, and all it's going to do is absorb the primer and be great. But when you put oil on there, it ruins everything. So that's why I went ahead and wiped her down with acetone again to remove any and all oils, which I did before we started, but just in case, because she keeps touching her nails, as you can see in the video a little bit, but I did cut a lot of her touching her nails out. So yeah, all I did was add a thin layer of Madame Glam base coat, and I cured it for a full 30 seconds. And use my code down below. All instructions for my code will be down below in the description, as well as the link that'll just take you there with my code already applied. This brush came in a set that Natalie Carmona used to sell. It was like, I don't know if anyone saw it on her website also, but it was a dual-ended brush set where it had like brushes attached and then dotting tools on the end of it. And I'm just using one of those, and I'm using gel paints from Savvyland, one from Anself. This orange is from Anself, and it is very old. That's why there's like a little bit of it in there because it kind of like spilled out and like evaporated and all that. The green, purple, and yellow and blue are from Savvyland, two separate kits. Then the pink I'm going to use is from Notpolish, and as you can see when I get to the pink, it is incredibly thin, and it just is very difficult to work with compared to the more pigmented ones, like because the gel pots are very pigmented, so you just kind of have to work with them differently. When it comes to that, I just use the green very sheer, and it took me 2 to 3 layers to build it up, and it was actually very easy to blend, because this whole vertical ombre trend was like really popping like a couple months ago, and I tried it a little bit and it didn't work out for me that well. I will leave the link to my attempt in the cards, but when I did this, I kind of wasn't thinking about it being difficult. I just really did it and it just worked out for me. I recommend starting with your lightest color first. So even though the pink is very sheer, overall it's kind of just a little bit more pigmented than the green, and then when they mix together they create like an orangish color. So that's what you're trying to get to. And yes, just trying to keep in mind what color is these two colors supposed to create. That's what you really want to keep in mind, and that's about it. I was picking up the color on the same brush, like I wasn't wiping it off too much in between. The only times I wiped the brush off or wiped the brush on the palette was when my brush literally was only picking up one color and was blending the colors very weird. So I'm showing you how I was picking up the colors. Sorry about the lighting changing in and out, but the sun decided to stop right in front of our window for some reason. But I had to blend the pink and the purple a lot of times because, like I said, the pink is very sheer, the purple is not, and I couldn't really get it any less sheer. And I don't know why, but I was struggling with it a lot. And plus, I had to build it up so many times. But after that, I went ahead and used the Bombnails Shiny Top Coat. And y'all, I've had the shiny top coat for so long that it's creating like bubbles in the top coat every time I use it, meaning I have to retire this one or only use it for like a peel off method or something like that. So I guess that's what I'm gonna do. But if I put 2 layers of top coat on, it works pretty good still. But yes, now it's time for the acrylic application. I'm going in with my Net Like Lucy 3-in-1 primer. I went ahead and did 2 layers, and then I added a thin clear base layer. Then it was time for the ombre, and I'm using Naomi Nude. And y'all, the container was fused together for some reason and I couldn't open it, and we had to put acetone on the container to open it. It was a big mess. But this monomer I'm using is from my local nail supply, so yeah. It was my very first time using it, and it crystallized on the top coat that we had laid down, and it was really weird, and I've never had that happen to me before. I'm going to explain why I put the top coat over the gel polish. It's because the monomer will literally eat through the gel polish and it will start to wipe away. So you want to go ahead and top coat it with the clear first because it's not going to smudge any color into what you're doing, and it's just going to like lock it in. And then once you do that clear layer of acrylic over it, it should be locked in. And like I said, usually it does not crystallize. This is the very first time it happened to me. And with each new monomer you try, the acrylic consistency is going to be a little bit different with each one. And yeah, so with the 876 powder, the Naomi Nude, it set pretty quickly to where I couldn't really blend it that much. Once I had let it polymerize for like 1 second, it was like already set, and it was already in that weird like moldable state, and then it would just set. So I was like, okay. But with the not polished clear, it just kind of made it crumble, and I was like, interesting. Like, it would crumble and then it got liquidy. So each powder will have its different consistencies, so just be careful with that. And it was kind of a harsh blend, and the nude is very sheer, where it's more on the sheer side, so that could be a very hard blend. But you really just have to add more acrylic and try and feather it out as much as you can, but at the same time make sure it's covering where it needs to be covered. Like, this is about as much as I could do in regards to the blending. I could remove some of it, push it down a little bit, and then I would literally have to blend, because like, look how stiff it is. Like, it's not going anywhere. But if I wanted to push it back, it would fold on itself really easily. So I was kind of confused, and I ended up using the rest of my acrylic creamy monomer, my little few drops I had, and used it to encapsulate, because I know what that monomer does. And I went ahead and finished off her set, and then we went ahead and got into the filing routine. Also, these are my mom's birthday nails, so don't forget to tell her happy birthday down below in the comments. So here is where I use the acrylic creamery monomer, and then I will go ahead and file after I encapsulate. So now I'm going to be filing. So what I'm doing here is I'm going in and removing any acrylic that could be stuck to the skin, or because sometimes it kind of like flips underneath on the sides and it attaches to the skin, and that is what you really want to remove, because that is where a good chunk of lifting can occur for like me, I noticed. So any acrylic you have on the skin is not good. So during the acrylic process, make sure you don't get anything running off to the side. My main issue I have when it comes to my application, when it comes to like product running off the side, would literally be my clear. Like sometimes I make sure it's super dry so it doesn't like run, but at the same time I don't want it to give me bubbles, and next thing I know, the entire side of their finger after I thought it was done is covered in clear. So just be very, very, very careful with your application. And the cuticle area, I've gotten it pretty good over time, but it's just the sides that really get me nowadays. Now I'm going in with a Pana fine drill bit, and it's a ceramic drill bit, and I'm going in and removing any acrylic that could be attached to the skin. I'm detaching it right now. Also, I'm making sure it's just not attached, period. And to do that, I'm going literally as close to the cuticle like skin as I can. Like I'm going all the way up to there. And this is a non-ceramic, not a non-ceramic. This is a non-safety drill bit. The safety ones is like the Pana 5-in-1, and it has like a little bit like of a ridge to it, to where even if you hit the skin, it won't cut. This will cut someone, so be very, very careful. And be gentle and kind of go slow around that area, but don't keep it in the same area at one time. And yeah, it can be very scary starting out, especially with the ones, the non-safety drill bits, but I noticed you kind of have to. And I'm going ahead and making sure the nail is nice and square, and then I'll go in and refile the sides just in case they need it. Now I'm going in and buffing and making sure I removed any and all scratches during this step. I'm leaving scratches, but they're very fine, and it's so the gel polish does not lift, but the surface of the nail is smooth. So it's very important to get your nails to be smooth and that there's no bumps, because it just looks really weird in person. Like on camera you might not be able to see it, but in person it looks so weird. So now I'm going in and wiping everything down with acetone to make it nice and shiny, and I'm going in with the Bombnails shiny top coat again. I went ahead and made sure everything was nice and smooth and there was no bubbles in the top coat or anything like that, and I cured it for a full 60 seconds. After I'm done top coating and everything's done curing, I will go in with some cuticle oil, and then that will be it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, ring the bell. Everything I will link to down in the description, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.